This is a SIM card tray, and it has a line through it. And yes, that's because it's been blocked out. This is the new Bigme, and this has no calling. Now, the confusion around this unit is that they simply don't have a name for it, and despite our best efforts, they have not responded, in fact, just simply not messaged us back about not having a name. This isn't a dig at Bigme, we're just giving our professional courtesy and saying, you can't go to market without a name. This unit is simply just known as the Bigme Hibreak with no 4G. And that doesn't make any sense because no 4G is not indicative of no cellular communication. In fact, there are countries that use 3.5G still. There's countries that use 3G still. So no cellular, if they're being descriptive with their title instead of identifying with something like S or light or simple versions, then they should have said no cellular, because we're here to set the story straight. This doesn't just not have 4G, it doesn't have any G. In terms of the overall build, it's totally fine. You have a leather-esque back, even though it's just plastic. You have a nice camera bump with a flash package, leaves tons of fingerprints, doesn't have any sort of anti-fingerprint coating, so before you take your shots, just go like that. You have a power button, volume up and down, an e-ink button, and of course, as we showed you, you have that SIM card slot that has been blocked off, but you do get SD. There's no speakers on the device whatsoever. The only one you get is right there, sharing with the earpiece. So if you have this up to your ear and the light sensor malfunctions for some reason, and your media volume is higher than your call volume, ouch. You also have a front-facing camera. We'll show you the rear-facing camera in a little bit, and that's basically the whole thing. It's a very smartphone-looking smartphone because it's based off of a smartphone. One click to wake up, or you can have it down and lift to wake up or raise to wake up, but that's in the settings menu. You do have a glow light as well, so you can make it super bright. You can make it super loud if you want. You don't have any color balance. You do have more volume, which gives you some volume stuff, but that's what I was saying about your alarm, call, and media volume, so just make sure your media volume is not higher than your call like that. You have alarm sound, you have vibration, and touch sound. All that's off for now because it just doesn't sound very good. We're gonna leave the glow light off for this just because it looks a whole lot better. You do have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, eink center, we'll show you that in a second, airplane mode, screen rotation, all this stuff, and dark mode, which is color inversion, mirrorcast, you have process management, translator, tons of AI stuff. Bigme's really big on AI, and the settings. You can go through the settings and just, there's too much here. Basically what this is an Android device in its purest form. It just has tons of customization. You can do anything with anything all the time. This is what we're going to show you though, the single key on the left, which they're called the custom key. So single click will be back, double click will be, let's say, screenshot, and then long press will be, I wonder if they have a glow light here, e-ink center. I like that because that'll lead into the e-ink center. So if I click once, it's going to go back, 2 times it's going to do a screenshot, or if I do long press, it's going to open the e-ink center, and we're going to show you that right now. You have default, magazine, comic, video, and custom. All your operations have become very, very smooth. You click on something, it opens up, you press back, it opens up, you press swipe up, it goes away. You can go in between screens. It's just so rapidly quick. Now, how do you make it look better? Because it looks terrible right now. Well, you go here and you go HD256. Then what happens is it looks gorgeous. It's very, very high contrast. The blacks are black, the white is very white. It ends up being very nice, but look what happens. Very slow. In fact, I can kind of say with certainty, slower than the Hibreak Pro. This is sluggish in normal mode, and this probably has to do with the more economic standpoint that this device is taking, because it's cheaper. It doesn't look like the Pro. It's based off of the old one, and it has less RAM. So really, it's just going to have a overall set of slower operations. But basically, this is a smartphone without calling. Although you can do calling with WhatsApp calling, Line calling, Kakao Talk, Facebook Messenger, all you want, because you have Google Play, and Google Play gives you millions of applications. When you go into Google Play, you get everything and anything. Period. I mean, anything you want, you just download. If you want to make calls, you can just download any sort of online internet-based application. You can download reading apps, you can download browsers, you can download basically anything. You have games, you have applications, you have office solutions, you can do your social media. There is no limit. So if you're wondering, if you get this, where am I going to get my stuff? All you have to do is download it. You can type in Amazon, what we're going to do right now to show you off the keyboard. And when you type in Amazon, you know what, we're going to do Amazon Kindle so it doesn't show up with the shopping app. Once you download Amazon Kindle, there you go. It's actually pre-installed. I didn't even notice that. Once you have that on your unit, you now have access to Amazon, which has millions of, right there, millions of, it's verbatim, millions of ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, comics, serial stories, etc. And you don't have to download Audible, but you can to pair up with this. But either way, if you have an Amazon Kindle and you're wondering, how do I get my books? Download the Amazon app, and then you'll get all of that content immediately on there. You can see this is also installed on my Sony device, so that's what it's referring to. But with Google Play, honestly, there's no reason to go to the Bigme store. There's no reason to download things from Project Gutenberg, etc., because you have all of your content under one roof. And furthermore, what we're going to show you is Google Play Books. So what you would do is go to Google Play Books, and then you can touch something like ebooks, for example. When you go to ebooks, you're going to have all this stuff. It's going to be based off of your Google account. It's going to be based off of what region you live in, etc. So we're doing this from our Japanese office, so Japanese content's popping up. When you go free sample, it's going to say download Google Play Books, in which case you just click install. I love Google Play Books. I will self-advocate for Google Play Books. They've never paid us. They've never sponsored us. I don't even think Google's ever sent us anything. They might have sent us a tablet way back when, but they are so good in that it's blanket across all your devices, whether you have your phone, whether you have your tablet, whether you have your PC. You just log in and there's all your stuff. You can click on library, and this is all the stuff we've downloaded for the reviews, for personal consumption, etc. Looking at an ebook, it's nothing too special. In fact, there's a little bit of a screen gap. So as you pinch and zoom and move things around, you'll see that it does escape underneath the bezel a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. The overall use of this is perfectly fine. You have long press, you have highlights, you have all of your translation and your definitions down below. You can pinch and zoom to a pretty extreme level, in which case it looks quite nice, honestly. All things considered, it is a little bit on the reflective side. Yes, they put a matte screen protector over this. You can see from the reflection of the camera, it was initially a glass screen, but that's what they install. And overall, it's a decent experience with a good amount of contrast, but you're not really going to be reading books on this. It's very tiny. It's much smaller than a Kindle in terms of its overall dimensions and everything. It's just not that great, but what it is good for actually is manga. Manga just looks so good on this. I understand it's small. It's not supposed to be that small. Manga's 5 to 6 inches big. I understand. But what I say is it's very pocket friendly. You can use the volume keys to change pages. Google Play allows you to double tap the speech bubble, and not only does it expand it, it doesn't make it blurry. They have their own individually keyed out speech bubble, and it can go to the next one and the next one and the next one, etc. You have the ability to pinch and zoom to a pretty drastic degree, and it's still quite nice, honestly. That's a very good contrast. Nothing's getting blurry, nothing's getting dissolved and diluted, and it just looks so good. So for quick, unnatural, albeit, manga consumption, it is quite nice to just have this in your hand, be able to turn pages on the fly, and get all of the access to all of your mangas through Google Play. And if you don't like what Google Play Books has, you can download a manga reading app from Google Play. So in terms of ebooks and manga, it pulls it off pretty well, but that's not mainly what the device is for, but it can do it in a pinch. Bigme still has their document scanning application, which I quite like. We're just going to use this piece of paper here as an example. You would click on it like that. It snaps a picture. Then you go to OCR, and it would recognize the text, and it's going to put it in line. And what's amazing about this is not only does it do it, it does it in every single language. And yes, you can see right here, it matched all the languages on here, actually minus this Arabic script one. It missed it a little bit, but either way, it does multiple languages in tandem. From there, you can export it, you can copy paste it, you can edit it, you can add to it, you can do whatever you want. I really like Document Scanner, and that all comes from having the camera, which we're going to show you right now. Of course, when you take pictures and videos, it's not going to look like this when you're done with it. In fact, the only reason it looks like this now is because this is the only way the screen can show you what you are seeing. It doesn't have a color screen, so it can't be in color. But when you do view the photos afterwards, it's going to be in color on your PC or your laptop, etc., or if you just send it to a phone that can run color. Same thing with video. In fact, when you trigger the video, it gets a little bit more stable, we found. You can see when you shake it, it doesn't move around too much. In fact, it keeps the x-axis and the y-axis pretty good when it comes to overall stability, and they do have some software things implemented to keep this nice and sturdy for you, so it will look good when you go to play it back on your PC. This is the Honda Beat. Going to market with no name is very dangerous because there's no blanket identifier we can use to talk about this product. The name they suggest, No 4G, isn't even indicative of what it doesn't do. The device itself is fine. In fact, it's very clear that they're competing with the Palma by scaling back certain aspects of the specifications in order to arrive at a cheaper price point. But that kind of all goes away if you can't talk about the product or so much as even find it online. But for what it is, it looks like, at least for now, you can expect a cheaper, capable non-smartphone smartphone from Bigme.